Hi, everyone, and welcome to a special episode of Version 1, a podcast where interesting people come to talk about their creative processes, imposter syndrome, inspiration, failures along the way, and much more. I'm your host, Waverly, and this episode is part of our Aruba Limited series. I've partnered with the Boardwalk Hotel to bring you conversations with local artists who are shaping the island's creative landscape. Follow the show on Instagram at Version 1 Podcast, and you can support the show at buymeacoffee.com/Waverly Colville. You can listen to this episode wherever you get your podcasts or head over to YouTube to watch the video version. Hi, everybody. I am here today with Yvette Franken. She is a photographer and also works in marketing and social media with Boardwalk Hotel. Yvette, welcome.
Thank you so much.
Could we just start with having you introduce yourself and talk a little bit about the work you do?
So I'm a wedding photographer, shooting weddings internationally, but I started shooting weddings on Aruba, so that's kind of nice to come back every once in a while. And besides that, I'm also doing the marketing for Boardwalk Boutique Hotel, where we're currently at, mainly doing the social media for them.
Wonderful. When you were a child, what did you want to be when you grew up?
A vet.
A veterinarian?
Veterinarian.
Oh, did you love animals?
I do, a lot, yeah.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
What brought you originally to Aruba, and where did you grow up?
I grew up in the Netherlands in a very small town in the countryside. My dad used to be a vet, so hence also being surrounded by animals during my childhood. Work brought me to Aruba, not mine, but my husband's work. He started working at the university here, and yeah, I didn't want to let him go by himself, so I joined, and yeah, it was the best time.
Wonderful. And what was it originally about Aruba that you really enjoyed? Like in the beginning, as you were getting to know the island, what were some of your favorite parts of it?
So in the beginning, we came here in February 2020, so a month later, COVID hit. So,
wow.
Yeah, we saw the empty island, which was kind of surreal because I'd been to Aruba before, and yeah, of course, it's very known for its beaches, and we get a lot of tourism, so the island was so empty. So I really had to rethink my view on the island and see how I would get along with people, because there weren't many people to communicate with or to get in touch with. So in the beginning, yeah, I saw a lot of nature coming back, walking the empty beaches and seeing sea life coming up to shore mostly. I think because of COVID, I started living here very close to nature. I had time to, because we didn't start working immediately, so I had really time to explore and see all these places, be it by myself, but it was super nice. Yeah.
Yeah. Where were you working as a wedding photographer as well at the time?
No, not at the time. I started off working as a corporate lawyer here.
You were a lawyer?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
What kind of law were you practicing in Aruba?
Corporate law mainly. So I was in one of the big firms here, but everything came across my desk. So employment law, but also sustainability issues. But I studied law in the Netherlands, focusing. My master's thesis was about corporate law. So
wow. That's awesome. And what made you change from being an attorney to working in marketing and becoming a wedding photographer?
Great question. Sometimes when I trace back my steps, I don't even know myself, even though I have quite good recollection of my life. But that part is a little fake. So at some point, I decided that the attorney and legal world, at least for the moment, wasn't for me any longer. And then actually somebody had lent me their camera, which happened to be the camera that I used to have back in the Netherlands. But I sold it on because I wasn't using it back then. But now the same camera found its way back to me. Well, not the exact same camera, but the same type. So I know how it works and stuff. So it was really easy to take it on, the photography once again. So I started that also to record COVID times on the island. Was super special with everything being empty. And then all of a sudden, to me, it feels I was photographing engagements and weddings on the beach. I came along with a friend once who shot a wedding. So she asked me to come along to help her out. And I've never looked back after. And now I shoot my own weddings. I have my own couples. And yeah, it's super nice.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
What was it about photography that made you fall in love with it?
Yeah, it's capturing a moment in time, whether it's nature coming back, in COVID times when it was really, I know I'm talking COVID a lot, but it's living here during that time was so special, seeing nature flourish. And what I love more, when it comes to weddings, it's about like getting to observe a whole day of a couple and all the people that are important to them and witness the bond that they have and capture it. And it's the only feasible thing, like the feasible memories kind of after a wedding day. So that's super nice. And the photography also ties in really nicely with the work I do here. Actually one of the owners of Boardwalk reached out to me because she liked my Instagram stories and my photography that she saw on there so much. So she asked me to join the team here. So it's all coming together.
Wow. So it was your photography skills that brought you to Boardwalk originally.
Kinda.
That's so cool. What are some of the things that you do now at Boardwalk?
So I manage the social media accounts. So that's Instagram, Facebook. So every reel you see, it's, I make it with my own content, but also from amazing creators that we get here so I work with various types of content. I think along with campaigns or collaborations. We have a fairly small marketing team, and it's like a very all-round job. But mainly I focus on the social media part, and that we get the Boardwalk brand out as it is. And like many people come across Boardwalk the first time on social media. So it's very important that the brand and what we focus at and what we find important is also able to be found there. So that's what I do.
Absolutely. Yeah. The reels on Boardwalk's Instagram are so beautiful and cinematic. Do you shoot all of that yourself?
It's a mix. So maybe in one reel, I also use content of 5 different creators, and sometimes it's just the little clip that I shot of the sunset, and it's no, I'm not taking all the credit. No, I really use like all kinds of content and also from amazing creators. But I do know what I want, so I do have these visions in my head for the way I want to portray Boardwalk in a reel, for example, and then I would know I would need like a sun flare coming through the palm trees, or I need something about the history of this place because it's a historic coconut plantation. So I always like to tie in like the historic part about it. So I always have a vision of what I need, and sometimes I create it myself, and sometimes amazing other creators, give us their content and we use it.
Oh, that's fantastic. Where are your favorite places to shoot in Aruba?
For weddings or for Boardwalk?
Ooh, I guess both.
Both.
Yeah.
Let's see. Aruba has like many amazing spots that they're like the obvious spots, like Eagle Beach. It's like rated one of the most beautiful beaches in the world. So that never gets old. But there's also like the beautiful Arikok National Park, for example, where I've seen weddings being hosted. I've never shot one. So if anyone is looking for a wedding photographer, I like the off-beaten path thing. So the North Coast is super beautiful. It's like rocky and the ocean is coming in. Yeah, I can't choose one place really.
Yeah. Just around where there's like beautiful natural landscape. It sounds like really attracted to.
Yeah, and you get a lot of that here. I think sometimes when I tell my friends about the island, they're like, "Oh, but it's like only white beaches and palm trees, right?" And I'm like, "Oh, it's really so much more than that." And if you know where to look, and it's not that hard. It's like actually where we're sitting now, like behind the gates of Boardwalk, there's this like this salt pan. And amazing birds live there, and it's super special, but maybe overlooked a little. So
yeah, absolutely. Could you describe your photography style to somebody who's never seen your work before?
It's a division with travel photography or like wedding photography. Yeah, if I photograph Aruba, for example, I like again to photograph the less chosen frames because not everyone, but a lot of people just photograph the palm tree on the white beach and that's it. But I like the places that maybe aren't that discovered yet, and to highlight those. I always like to stay like true to color. I don't like heavy edits. I maybe like to surprise people with the frames that like they maybe know the place, but they haven't seen that angle or that perspective or at that time of day. Yeah, a true to color, like not too cliche or not too styled, like as it is, but maybe with a little artsy angle. And for weddings, I like to also highlight the fashion that is there, or a little editorial feeling about it. So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's hard to describe.
Totally. No, it is a
Yeah.
really hard question, but I
Yeah.
always like to hear sort of how people put into words their aesthetic or their vibe, you know, especially for those who haven't seen it before. But it sounds like you love to highlight all the naturally beautiful parts in like a cinematic, creative way.
Yeah, I have to write that down. That sums it up quite well. Yeah, I also don't. I feel like braggy. I don't want to come across braggy. I don't know. I really love my work or something. I mean, sometimes when I see a frame, I know that I want to shoot it, and I know that what I like about it and what I can do. But I never want to come across like, oh yeah, no, I have like this amazing work, and yeah.
Well, you don't come across braggy at all. Your work is definitely worth bragging about.
Well, thanks.
It's very good. I love it. Yeah, and I love how you do really reflect color and also contrast really well, I think, in your work. Because I was looking through your portfolio yesterday.
Oh, thanks for doing so.
Yeah. I want to talk about how you shoot weddings, because I feel like there's so much probably planning that goes into it, and also, but you can't plan too much because sometimes things happen spontaneously. So it's probably like a mixture of things you have to do. So could you talk to me? Let's say I hire you to shoot my wedding. Would
love to.
Yeah, one day one day when I'm engaged. But if I were to come to you and say, hey, Yvette, I would love for you to shoot my wedding, then what happens on your end in the creative process? Like, what are some of the first things that you do?
Well, if you reach out to me, first of all, I'm really happy, because I'm always happy that people find me. Then I would suggest, like, if you're living close by, you're not, sadly, but if you would, I would suggest to grab a coffee and to go over your, like, what you envision for your day, like the venue, how many people, but also what you hope to get from photography. Because I think it's very important to be like aligned, that I would be able to deliver you the photos that you hope, if you have a vision on that, or either we create the vision together. But often I would hop on a video call to get to meet the couple, and again ask these questions, what they're hoping from photography. And then I always offer to help in the like process towards the wedding, because I also feel it helps with the photography to stay in touch and to know how the timeline is planned. But as you say, timelines change. So I think timelines are more like a guidance for the day. It's not set in stone, because those days, maybe you get surprised by a speech from your mother, your father, your uncle, your best friend, I don't know, whoever you choose to attend. Weddings can also be very small, or just an elopement, the two of you, of course. And then, it's like growing towards the day. And when the day gets there, just have the best time. And I do like to steer a little. So this is where like maybe the editorial part comes in a little. I like to photograph the day as it is, but I do like to prepare spots where I would like to take like maybe a couple picture. But only if the timeline allows it, and only if the couple wants me to. Like, it's your day, not mine. So yeah, and then afterwards, I think I take maybe 8 weeks, 2 months to deliver the full gallery.
That's pretty fast.
Yeah, I was considering maybe doing 10 weeks next year.
Yeah, because I had a friend who got married, and I think her photos were delivered like 5 months later or something like that. It takes a while, so I was like,
it takes a while.
Yeah, probably to go through all the editing and
the selection, the editing, and then sometimes I bring a second photographer, so then you have like. I shoot with 2 cameras, and then if my second does 2, then you have like, 4 cameras worth of content to go through and to select and then to edit. And I don't use AI for editing, so I do everything manually. So yeah.
Yeah. Could you talk to me about some of the tools that you use, like what camera and lenses you use and what editing software and things like that?
Yeah, of course. So I have 2 cameras. I use the Canon R5 and a Canon R6. I use various lenses, so I also change lenses during the day. So most of the time I start off with the 2870 RF lens 2.0. Because I really like them for like getting ready pictures, portraits. I always like to get some bridal portraits, and if I can, from the groom also. Let's see. I also like the prime 35mm lens. I used to shoot weddings just with the 2870, and now I I feel like it's super nice to also get some prime lenses.
Yeah, for sure. Do you have a preference between prime and zoom lenses?
Tough one.
I know.
Tough one.
Whenever I ask photographers are always like, they either have a super strong opinion or they can't pick.
I don't know. Maybe I would say a zoom lens.
Because of the flexibility?
I think so. But prime lenses have never let me down, and they require you to be like dynamic on a wedding day, like to go closer and go backward. Yeah, you know how it is. No, but I would say a zoom lens.
I hear you. I'm a zoom lens person too, I think.
Yeah.
And also, just quickly for people who are listening that aren't photographers, could you just quickly explain prime versus zoom?
Yeah. I'm not a technical photographer.
It'd be just a basic explanation.
I hope I can do it in English. I could do it in Dutch.
I was going to say, do you want me to do it?
Yeah, please.
Yeah, of course. So yeah, really quickly for those listening who just aren't familiar with that terminology, on a very basic level, a zoom lens means you could basically twist the lens and the camera will zoom in and out for you. So you can kind of frame your shots while staying in the same place, but you get kind of less depth of field and less flexibility in some ways, but more flexibility in others. A prime lens is like a fixed focal length, meaning you can't zoom in and out unless you physically move your feet. But sometimes the images are a lot sharper because there's more adjustments you can make. So it is a trade-off. And that's why I like to ask photographers, because a lot of people have different opinions on what they prefer to work with.
Yeah. This is why I have two cameras that I can choose, like zoom and prime, and I have them both.
I love that. What is it about Aruba that you find inspiring?
When I'm here, I feel super in touch with nature. Even if you're driving from point A to B, then you would have to drive by the sea, and you look over the sea and you can tell like, oh, it's a little like choppy outside, or you can see like the wind on the water. The closeness to nature, and you can look at the sky and like, oh, this might be a nice sunset or not, or what time is it? Oh, maybe I'm in time for a nice sunset. And then the weather inspires me to either go out or not, because light is obviously very important in photography. What I also love is the openness of people I meet. And I think I told you before, like Aruba is one big melting pot of cultures, like so many cultures living together on one tiny island. And that reflects in like the conversations that you have, who your neighbors are. I had neighbors coming from Bonaire, from Haiti, from Colombia, and whenever you would meet in the street or whenever the holidays came around, you would like go over to them with some food, or they would come over to me with some food, and you have amazing talks. And that's what really stood out to me about Aruba.
Yeah. And how do you sort of incorporate those special parts of the welcoming culture or the beautiful natural landscape into your wedding photography?
I feel like wedding photography it's mainly storytelling, right? So when I'm at a destination for a wedding, can be Aruba, can be anywhere, I like to be there a few days ahead of time to go about the island in this case, and also like shoot like the backdrop of the wedding. So if they get ready here at Boardwalk, some of my couples do, they get ready here and then go from the hotel to the wedding venue. I like to shoot like nice frames from the hotel and from the beaches that they are getting married at, but there's not a setup yet. So I always like to incorporate the country or the city that I'm in. And you would like see it pop up in the gallery to set the tone.
Yeah, that's really cool. Where else in the world have you shot weddings?
Quite a few. Italy, Morocco, Canada, France, the Netherlands, of course. Let me think, am I forgetting? One in the USA one time, as a second shooter. So, but still.
That's still a lot. That's incredible. Are there certain places that are your favorites to shoot?
I loved how the light was in Morocco and the colors of like.
I love Morocco.
Yeah, it was super super impressive. Also, the light, but again also the culture and meeting the people there, the food. And Aruba also never ceases to amaze me every time, because even though people think it's like just sunshine and palm trees, like the light is like different every day. And yeah, Aruba never gets old for a wedding, and people are so happy to be here. Yeah, in Morocco too, I have to say. Like I get to meet like very happy groups of people most of the time, so that's amazing. I mean, every country I go, I'm able to go through for a wedding. I'm like super happy about. So yeah.
Do you feel like your sort of creative energy differs from place to place, if that makes sense?
Yeah, it does make sense. Yeah, definitely. Because, for example, if I'm in Aruba and we like, let's say when the bride is getting ready, and I try to source like what are like native plants, because I like to incorporate the nature, right? So then I would, for example, take the wedding bands and try to find a leaf that is flat, so I can put it on the leaf, but it's like a native plant, so it's like a wink to the destination we're at. I had the same in Morocco. I asked for like one of these traditional tea sets, and then I would place like the details of the day on one of these tea sets to incorporate. Yeah, it maybe sounds a little bit weird, but I really like
No,
it.
that's so beautiful.
Or with source books. For example, I was in Amsterdam a while back for a wedding, and this couple had one topic, like one subject that was very important to them, and they were getting ready at a hotel, and the hotel happened to have like this big bookshelf, and I was like, oh my God, that's like a book about the subject they love. So I like then opened the book and I tried to find a nice spot, and then I put like just the rings. I think I like to keep it very clean and simple, but then the rings would be on the text or maybe an image that is reflecting what is important to them. So
that's really cool.
How my creativity like it varies with the destination and with the couple.
Yeah, that is so cool that you incorporate things in the natural surroundings, or maybe at the Airbnb where they're getting ready at, or at the hotel, or yeah, that's really cool.
Thanks.
How do you sort of, I guess, develop your creative voice and the eye for those details?
There's really a few photographers that I really admire, and with one of them, she offered like a coaching trajectory, like to sign up for. So I did that, and I'm super grateful because she looked at my work, and I sent her a few galleries, and then she would have like suggestions, or why didn't you incorporate this, or why, yeah. So this is how I learn, really. Oh yeah, looking at works from others, but not in a way to recreate it or like imitate it, but to be inspired by. That's basically,
yeah. Do you have any non-photography sources of inspiration that you look to as well?
I think I do, but I surely do. Nature, I think. Of course, light. That's really important. I can see light hitting the floor, and then I could think like, oh, if I would put the wedding invite there with the rings on it, or just a shoe, or oh, there's like this tree that has like a little natural hook on it, and maybe I could hang her dress up. Or with a couple pictures that I see, for example, like a nice arch or like a nice movement in a building. So it's architecture, basically. It's not photography, but it's like like different kinds of buildings that I can see that to incorporate in my photography. So yeah, nature, architecture, different kinds of photography. Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely. And as someone who loves nature so much, could you talk to me about some of your favorite things to do in nature?
I love to go hiking. I go out in the morning, like early morning, because otherwise here on Aruba it gets a little hot. And there are several very nice trails to go on. I think they're like 45 minutes, and it's like a loop, and they go on the north coast. So that's what I really love to do. I love diving. So we went on a little nice dive this morning.
We did. We went scuba diving this morning, and it was so much fun.
Yeah, it's so much fun. What else do I love to do? I volunteer for one of the rescue organizations on the island, so I really love to go to the shelter. It's a rescue organization for animals, and they have like one property with several kennels on it. And every time I'm there, I'm, for example, rinsing the bowls, and I'm just feeling so happy because I'm away from the screen, I'm in nature, I'm surrounded by animals, which I love.
Absolutely. So, what are some of your favorite hikes in Aruba?
There's one at Kalbas, it's called. Kalbas is an area here. And you can drive there, you park your car at a dragon fruit farm.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, you can see them growing behind the fence. And then you walk down to the ocean, and you walk a little like on the ocean side, and then you go up the hill, and there's your car again. And this is, I think, like a 45 to 1 hour hike. I think that might be my favorite. Let's think. Yeah, that's my favorite.
Oh, I love that. Yeah. What are some other hikes that people can check out if they're here?
I would say you could go to the lighthouse up north. It's more desert is not a good way to describe it, but you can drive there for a bit and you could feel like you're on Mars or something. It's like very rocky and like very there's only cacti and sand, and it's right by the ocean, so that's very nice, and you can walk by the beach. There's also some very nice trails on the south of Aruba, so close to Boca Grande. In the Arikok National Park, you have like beautiful trails marked out for you. What I would also suggest is, now that we're talking about it, you can go with a ranger of Park Arikok, and they can point out all the local trees or which fruits they grow, and they can tell you about the nature there. So, yeah, I would say Lighthouse and Arikok.
Oh, I love that. Fantastic. I'll have to check those out sometime during my time here.
Sure you do.
And I'm so curious. For listeners, we spent the morning scuba diving together. It was amazing. We went to a shipwreck from World War II, and then we went to a coral garden, and both were so beautiful. What originally got you interested in scuba diving?
A friend of mine, she went to do her open water certification, and she asked me to come along. And at first I was a little skeptical. I don't know why, but I was like, yeah, let's see. And then I thought it's a very fun activity. I like sitting down with my friends and grab a coffee, but I also really like going on activities like going on a hike together or going on a dive together. And I thought, well, that fits right in. So I came along and did the certification with her and really loved it.
What do you love about scuba diving?
My mind tends to get very busy, very occupied with all kinds of things. And when I'm underwater, it's one of the few moments that my mind stops. So I really like that. I also feel encouraged when I see turtles, for example, and when I see many, because I'm quite concerned for sustainable causes, and I can feel like very sad when I see like developments with nature, and nature obviously not thriving. So when I'm there and I see like healthy reefs and turtles swimming, so I feel like a little more at ease.
Yeah, absolutely. I find that I love scuba diving for all the reasons you just mentioned. To me, it's very meditative because you can't be on your phone. You have to be fully present, and you only can hear the sounds of like bubbles, basically. Yeah. And so it's a great way to have your mind both active but also shut off at the same time.
True.
And so I'm curious, do you take sort of any like lessons or practices maybe that you've learned from scuba diving and apply them to other things in your life, like maybe just your day-to-day or maybe photography or something like that?
Always check your gear.
That's a great lesson. Right? Yes, for photography and scuba. That's perfect.
Yeah, so, like scuba diving maybe brings me a sense of calm, like, okay, calm, collected. Okay, check. Do you have everything? Is everyone safe? You okay? I'm okay. Yeah, that helps. Also like a reminder to sometimes, go into my calm and do a meditative moment even when I'm not diving. So that helps. Yeah, I think staying calm and reflect on what you're doing and your surroundings.
Yeah, I think stay calm is also a great lesson because that's probably also something you need as a wedding photographer in case something's going wrong and you have to be that calming presence to, help the situation or figure it out or whatever. I'm also curious because light and color are very important in scuba diving, but also very important in photography. Mini science lesson in case any non-divers are listening, but basically the deeper you go down, the more of the color spectrum disappears. So first red disappears and then orange, yellow, and it goes down. And so that's why kind of everything in the ocean, the deeper you go down, just looks kind of hazy, bluish gray. But that's not actually what it looks like. It's just the light going through the water. And so I'm curious because light and color are so important as a photographer. Did scuba diving kind of make you more sensitive to light and color on land? Because does that make sense?
Yeah, it's funny that you bring it up because when you asked your previous question, or maybe this question even, the first thing I thought about was this, like the way the colors are changing when you go deeper in the water. And I always see like these color schemes that I had in art class, that they taught you about colors and about how blue is like the opposite to orange, but they like vibe each other up. And it's so what I love to see is underwater photography, and I'm always in awe how they color grade it, because I know
it's really difficult.
It's really difficult. And
as someone who can't do it, it's like,
same.
Yeah. On the show, I interviewed an underwater photographer as one of my previous episodes. And that was the question I asked her. I was like, please help me learn how to color grade. How do you do it?
I have to check that episode because I want to learn too. Yeah, no, it's definitely, something I think about. Even today, this morning, I saw our dive master. He had like this red light, this red flashing light, and it made me re-see the colors that were not there before he switched it on. So that was also a moment where I thought about it. So yeah.
Do you think that these activities in nature, like hiking and diving, play a role in your creative process?
They definitely have an influence. When I go hiking, my mind is calm and ideas come to me, or I get inspired for weddings that are ahead. Like my mind drifts off to either the present, but also the future, and great ideas come to me when I'm out in nature, whether it's hiking or diving. Mostly during hiking, though. With diving, I'm very much in focus, very tranquil, but also very much in focus. But with hiking, sometimes I put like a nice music on, and it also transports me to places.
I love that. It's kind of similar to how people always say like shower thoughts, or you have like the best ideas when you're taking a shower. It's because like your body is active, but you're not staring at a screen. So it kind of lets your mind get those creative ideas. So I absolutely love that.
Exactly. This is also why I love going on hikes with friends or do like activities with friends, because especially on hikes, I think you start talking, like you walk and you talk, and there's like more like or different conversations than you would have while sitting in a busy cafe with a cup of coffee, in my case at least.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you ever experience like creative blocks or ruts?
Yeah, I definitely do. It can be in the middle of a shoot when I'm like, oh, what angle should I do next? Because I often ask my models or my couples to pose in a certain way, but then I also have to like think ahead on, I have like a little shot list in my head, but then sometimes I'm like, oh, what prompt can I give them now? It can also be like when I want to post something, or because nowadays Instagram and businesses is like, yeah, you need to be online to be seen and to be found. But then I'm like, oh gosh, what should I post? And yeah.
How do you get out of a rut when you're in one?
I would give myself a break. Like, it's okay to feel this way, and try to, really disconnect from it for a moment, instead of like lingering on the topic or lingering on about not being able to come up with something. And then after a few days, it will come back to me. But if it's in the moment, then what I'll do, I sometimes take a little break. Like I sometimes say like, well, you know what, maybe have just a sip of water, and then I try to regain what I had in mind, and often it comes to me again. Or sometimes I'm like doing something totally different, but it also comes out very nice. So yeah,
Totally.
winging it.
Whenever you need a creative reset, where are your favorite places to go on the island?
I love salsa dancing. So
That's so
that
cool.
also takes my mind off things, and it's not like it's an activity. I mean, for sure, but it's not hiking or diving because I was close to saying I'll go on a hike, but then I do love to go on a hike, but I also love salsa dancing, and it's like if I'm being rewired because my brain needs to think about the steps, and yeah.
That's so cool. Where can you salsa dance on Aruba?
There is, I think there are multiple dancing schools, but the ones I went to is called Aruba Salsa. And Reggie and Melitza give the lessons, and you have like different levels of salsa. One of my colleagues from marketing department used to teach there too. Her name is Shari, and she's being modest all the time about it. But when she dances, I'm like, okay, I have a lot to learn. Yeah. So yeah. If you take notice, like if you drive around the island, you'll sometimes hear like flares of music coming over fences or out of cars. Like I have the feeling like it's so much appreciation for not just salsa music, but music. But especially salsa makes me want to move.
That's so
That's
cool.
a good reset. It's like a very, very great activity.
Yeah, I'll have to try a salsa dancing class while I'm here. That's
I
incredible.
would suggest you do. Yeah, it's amazing.
I want to ask you some questions about your marketing role here at Boardwalk. When it comes to content creation and shooting the hotel and of course making those like very cinematic, beautiful reels on Instagram that you do.
Thanks.
Since you're shooting sort of like the same place all the time, how do you keep it fresh?
It helps to be on and off island for a little. If I come in again and I see like, oh, the plant has grown quite a bit and it casts like new shadows, that helps already. What also helps is like the content creators we work with. I'm sometimes really surprised by the angles they see and they like their deliverables. I'm like, oh wow, I hadn't even looked at it that way. So that's what helps. I also try to create content off property. So from the island, I think what we find very important at Boardwalk, that Boardwalk is not the destination, but Aruba is. So we try to highlight all the spots from the island that we would recommend guests of Boardwalk going to.
That's wonderful. What do you think sets Boardwalk apart from other hotels on the island?
And I don't know the policies of other hotels because I'm not involved with them, but what I know for certain is that Boardwalk really makes sure that sustainability isn't just a marketing phrase. We like have a waste division system, we compost, we have a do good program that gives back to local initiatives on the island, which can be like an animal rescue or a local food program for families that need an extra hand. Yeah, I think that's really, really beautiful. For example, this morning, I know one of our team members at the front desk, she's very involved with animal rescue as well. And there's currently an issue with a group of stray dogs. And then one of the hotel owners, she calls me to ask, what can we do to help as Boardwalk? How can we support this? Can we make a donation? Yeah, I think that sets Boardwalk apart for me. It's not just saying that they're good, that they're embracing nature, but they're truly doing it. And yeah, I can't even start. I don't know where to start even with the good initiatives that come from this place, like supporting local artists. It's even visible in the design, like choosing local art, making sure the birds are fed. Yeah, like pointing out that there's baby grass growing. That's like a sign here. Yeah.
I love that.
I love the place. Yeah.
Yeah, and it feels like a beautiful, like natural retreat from everything. Because, just looking at the beach, of course, there are lovely hotels that, are these big waterfront resorts that are wonderful in their own ways, but this is more secluded, you know, and it's just a totally different vibe that I think makes this place really unique and cool. And
I agree.
yeah, it's very quiet, very peaceful, and it feels like you're in the middle of like the jungle or something like that. Like it's very cool.
Yeah.
What are some ways that tourists who come here can minimize the footprint that they leave?
For example, you could think on not having housekeeping come into your casita every day, because it helps with like housekeeping would, for example, take away the towels that you use, but maybe you can reuse them one more time. We have water bottles that are like made from recycled plastic. It's like an initiative called Join the Pipe. So we have a water system. Before you head out the door, you can refill your bottle instead of having to buy plastic bottles. There's also buckets on your way out that you can grab if you are thinking like, oh, you know what, I'm going to the beach. I might do a beach walk. Maybe I will see some trash, so I want to pick it up. So we provide buckets for that. There's a donation box in our lobby where you can, at the end of your stay here, you can put unopened cans of food in, or unopened, not just cans, like anything unopened that is like not expiring very soon, because that would go to like local causes to distribute to families that, could use some help. So
I love that. And how can people visiting get involved in the creative community on Aruba?
It depends, of course, what kind of art you're into, but I am like an artist yourself, being invited to hotels or I'm not sure if there's more hotels doing this actually, but there's so many ways. I think you can like set up like a canvas on the beach, like an empty thing to draw on, and you can start like your own art piece here. I think it's a very diverse art community. It goes from like a couple in Oranjestad making bags of old sails, for example. They're called Ash and Amelie, and it's called Tangerine, their business, and they you can just step in their atelier and like talk to them, and they know other artists as well. There's a surf shop, for example, doing prints from one of the artists here. You wouldn't say maybe at first glance, but artists really anywhere here, and it's to me it was very approachable. So
yeah, what was it like trying to build your own business, and a creative business at that, on the island? Was it like, because I can imagine it both having advantages and disadvantages in some way, because it's a small community, but also, and you're on an island, so you can really get incorporated quickly, but also like, I don't know, like what is it like, I guess, being a creative on the island and building your own business?
Let me think on this. Some people ask me like, is it very competitive, or how do you deal with other photographers or other artists? But in my opinion, I think there's enough work for everyone, enough weddings to shoot. I'm all over community over competition. And with regards to building a business, I always think it's important to I don't know the words, that you're happy for the other, that business is going great. Like support them and like be interested, but not in a way like, oh, what are you doing? Because I want to do the same.
It's kind of like the phrase, a rising tide lifts all boats. Have you heard that before?
No, but it's so true. Whoa, I really have to write that one down. But that's basically how I feel. And then with building a business, it takes time. It's not an overnight thing. But yeah. It is. I think it is possible.
Totally.
Yeah.
Did you ever experience imposter syndrome?
All the time. Also right now.
Talk to me about what it sounds like to you.
That's a great way of asking it, by the way. But whenever a reel performs well, or whenever a couple reaches out to me, I'm always wondering, like, I'm just Yvette Franken from a small countryside town in the Netherlands, and why would they want me at their wedding in Morocco? But I'm very happy that people do ask, but I always wonder, like, oh, I'm sure that there's others that can do better. Yeah.
Like not giving yourself the credit of all the hard work that you do or the years that you have.
Yeah, I think, yeah, I think I can always do better. I'm never there yet. I mean, I'm confident. I know how my cameras work, and I know which angles people look great in, or I know, well, I don't know the algorithm. It's like very hard to to get that one, but I know how to create a nice reel. But it's yeah, it's just you never know how people see it, and if it can be done better, or if somebody else could do it better. But then again, I'm also not really competitive, so it's more competitive towards others. It's more like a competition towards myself, and I feel like I can do better, and I have still so much to learn. But at the same time, I'm also feeling quite confident, so it's also very conflicting.
Yeah, for sure. I think a lot of really creative people always deal with that, feeling confident versus being like, what the heck am I doing sometimes?
Yeah, because especially for me, since I have a totally different background, I kind of, it just, my life just took a different turn, and here I am, and I'm very happy where I'm at. But it's, at some moments in time, it wasn't even like a very mindful decision that I'm at where I'm at. Mm-hmm. But I'm really happy to be here.
Whenever you are experiencing those thoughts or feelings of self-doubt, of imposter syndrome, what are some things that you do to get out of that headspace?
So sometimes, not even when I'm in an imposter syndrome phase, but sometimes throughout the year, I have these moments where I'm forced to look back. For example, if I scroll down my Instagram feed, I'm like, ooh, my editing I find it better now. Or, oh yeah, I remember that wedding. I was so nervous. Or when I look at my beginning time here at Boardwalk, I'm like, oh, I don't know how Canva works, or I don't know how many hashtags should I put. So in the moments when I get like imposter syndrome very severely, I would think back on those moments and kind of try to give myself a pat on the back, and be kind to myself, because at the end of the day, it doesn't help if I'm like putting myself down, not for me, but also not for the people that I'm working with. So
yeah, absolutely. What is something that you haven't done yet that you want to?
Something I would like to do is that maybe through the work I do, and then I mean especially Boardwalk, like raising awareness about the nature in Aruba, that I would like to reach more people, even that message grows bigger and bigger, and that it's like set into like visitors from Aruba, that they have to make sure that the local flora and fauna and people are also regarded. So I want that message to grow bigger. And with regards to weddings in general, I would love to, see different wedding venues, meet different wedding couples, and also get to know like couples that lift me up and I can lift them up. So like be more, I feel very aligned with the people that approach me already, but just for that to continue and even grow bigger. Yeah.
Do you have a dream like destination that you'd love to shoot a wedding in, like a particular country or city or something like that?
Mexico? And then I can go diving with whale sharks if I'm lucky, and do some salsa dancing.
Yes.
Yeah, South America, really, pools. I really would love that. But I also saw, I think, a wedding in Alaska one day, or in Austria, but then in midwinter and amidst the snow.
That would be beautiful.
That would be beautiful.
Yeah. What is your definition of success?
My definition of success is that I'm living a life where I can care for myself and for my surroundings, and obviously like working, but have the freedom to also feel like I'm living life, and I can make time, or I have time to put energy into the causes that I stand for and what I find important, and that I For example, if I can make like very sad example is, well, you know by now probably that like animal welfare is really important to me, and to me, I feel like if I'm able to set my boundaries with that, I feel like I'm successful and I'm like doing right in my business. For example, I have like a clause in my agreement that I wouldn't shoot like wild animals in captivity, or I refuse to shoot it. And being able to say that instead of having to like do all the work just because I have to, instead of setting my boundaries and standing there photographing monkeys or wild birds that are obviously held for human entertainment, I would feel so bad. I simply couldn't. But I know probably some people have to because they don't have the choice. And I'm not saying I made better choices than them, or I don't want to put anyone in a bad spot. But to me, that I can live my life working, but I honestly often don't feel like I'm working. That's my definition of success.
I absolutely love that. All right, Yvette, are you ready to move into the lightning round?
Bring it on.
Let's do it. What is something new that you've tried lately?
There's this one smoothie place in Aruba.
Okay.
I always choose the watermelon sexy, but now I chose a different smoothie and I wasn't disappointed. So I think it's the aunt of our diving master from this morning. Her name is Maureen. And Maureen has this place called Mauchi Smoothie. And it's on your way to Baby Beach, like in Savaneta. Yeah, it's a must go and try all the smoothies she has.
Well, I have to go there.
Yes. Sure to stop by. So that's something new that I tried.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Do you have a lesson or a message that you want to share with listeners?
Yeah, I often think kindness really goes a long way. For me, it's more easy to be kind, and not in a cheesy way, but just to be open and try to look into the other person or the whatever species is in front of me. But to be kind is often more easy and more soothing also to yourself than to be harsh.
I love that. And what is one thing you wish you knew when you were first starting out?
What I wish I had known is it doesn't need to be perfect at the first try. So give yourself some time and cut yourself some slack. You're there in that position, trying to start your business or trying to support a team, and it can't be like 100% from the get-go. Yeah, I think a learning curve is like a nice challenge for yourself, and again, to cut yourself some slack if something is not working out immediately. I don't really like a learning phase, so I love surfing, but it's like a very hard thing to learn.
Yes, I've only surfed a couple of times and I'm so bad at it, but I want to be a surfer girl, so I hear you.
I'm trying so hard. No, I'm not trying. No, I could try harder, but it's yeah, and something yeah that doesn't come easy, but it's very much something you can take your time for, and you learn as you go and you grow as you go, and that's okay as well.
I love that. All right, Yvette, this has been wonderful. Could you please tell everybody where they can find you and check out your work and get in contact with you?
Yeah, of course. So I have my website, yvettefranken.com, and I'm on Instagram also, Yvette Franken Photography. So yeah, that's something where you can find me.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
Yeah.